Happy expiration. Happy Thursday expiration. A bit of a weird one. With me is, as usual, is Thomas. Thomas, how are you?
Good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing all right. This is a little bit of an odd duck of a month. Because of Juneteenth being on a Friday, that's the day off. So we're releasing on a Thursday today because that's when monthly options will expire this month. So this is dropping on June 18th. We're recording on what, June 6th though.
Yep.
So we got a fair lengthy gap between what we're saying now and when you'll hear this. So it'll be interesting. We're not going to do any predictions though. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
6/6/26.
Is it 6/6/26? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So 20 years ago today, I went and saw The Omen in theaters so I could get a movie ticket for 666 with The Omen.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you went to a movie theater to see The Omen so you could get a ticket that said 666.
Yep.
I'll bet you didn't have a girlfriend.
I did actually.
Trader Dog Gus is here with us this month too. He's hanging out, but I think he's hearing some food, so I'm gonna let him out.
All right.
In or out, buddy. There we go. Dog Gus, everybody. Still hanging around. Alrighty, well, it's June. We have a big month of activities coming. That's part of the reason we're recording this on a slanted schedule. I'll be in Europe next week, so that'll be fun.
So that'll
Big
be fun.
family vacation to Europe. We're gonna go back to the old countries.
Mm, the old countries. Yeah,
The
that's
old
that's true.
countries. Yeah, we not Italy,
Mm,
but we're going to
yeah,
Ireland and Scotland, so that'll be
nice.
fun. Might
Oh,
do a little
what?
bit like Trader Dad's International. We'll see.
Yeah. See if you can get a man on the street content. Put
Yeah.
microphone in somebody's face.
I don't know.
That'd
What
be
it'd
fun.
make my universe if because
You saw a hat.
this is going to come out while we're in Scotland. So
Hmm.
that's where this will go. It would make my universe like it would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me if I was in like an Irish or a Scottish pub and a dude comes up to me and says, "Was this you?" and like shows me my and it's like a true generic fan who comes out. It would
Yeah.
make my universe. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even know what to do. I'd be floored.
Or you just saw like somebody wearing a hat. Like somebody
That
wearing
would be
like
good.
a
The hats do
yeah,
sell well, which
yeah,
I want to talk about the store a bit at the end. The hats do sell well in Europe. So if I'm
yeah.
like walking by and I see somebody with a weird Jamie Dimon pun hat, I'd be like, ah, it's fine.
Would you offer to sign it?
It depends.
So this is the thing. Yeah, like would you go up to them and create the interaction? Like if you saw someone 20 yards away from you, like at a tourist spot, and they had a Trader Dad hat on, would you go talk to them?
I think
You'd
I'd
have to.
have to.
You'd have to.
Like I'd
You, you,
have to. It would just be like
you,
I'd regret if I didn't do it, I'd regret it. Like I'd just be like kicking myself for years that I didn't just go up and like hold up the image on my
Mhm.
phone with me and be like, "Hey!" and the guy be like, "Hey!" and then we
Well,
like have a moment.
if that does happen, one, you have to get a picture of it, and then two,
Absolutely.
we'll have to put it on the next month podcast. And then, but the worst thing, well, not the worst thing, but it would be interesting if that did happen, right? Just off, but that'd be very interesting if that happened. But then the guy's like, yeah, I don't know, I found it in the trash.
I got it out of a donate pile,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
Goodwill.
yeah. It's like oh, okay. Like he just shrugs his shoulders. And it's like okay,
Yeah, I would still think that actually may even better.
that would be
Um,
that'd be yeah,
yeah, Mark
unique
Maron does a
circumstance.
good bit about hats.
Oh yeah,
You ever see Mark Maron's bit about hats? It's basically
no,
that.
never
It's like
seen.
he buys a hat and then he eventually gives it up, and then he sees somebody with that hat and he gets jealous and blah 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 blah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were going to be in Europe next week, which is why we're recording this a bit early, and it will still drop on Thursday expiration. But so we got our normal categories coming up, my friend. You ready to get into the markets?
Markets indeed. Let's do it.
All right. So we are recording this a bit early. For anyone who cares, Friday, June 5th was a rough one. Yeah, Nasdaq down like 4.5%. That the SOX index really kicked everyone's butt. So that's really been the driver. Have you been following this?
A little bit, yeah. You're talking about the Nasdaq SOX index. Just real quick, the SOX index. That's like all of the like semiconductors and a lot of things like that. Like like
It's
Nvidia's
it's
and
it's easiest to show it to show in like a chart. So
all
how
right.
about let's go to the chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, the SOX. So basically, this is an index made up of all the main companies that buy chips. So this got popular back in say like the original dot-com boom when like Intel really started to become Intel AMD wars for PC desktops. That's where that started to gain some notoriety. So what we've been seeing here since the end of March, the whole rip has been really isolated in stocks. Like this is a subset of the NASDAQ. So if you go back up to the actual index, clearly the subset is driving the broader index, right?
Mm, right.
So we've had a little bit of a pullback.
Yeah, a little
Again,
bit.
Friday was rough. Friday was rough. I think it's just going to be momentary. I'm not concerned about it being like some major thing, but it shows what happens when things get a little frothy. We had a big one. Call it a big one.
Yeah, that looks like yeah, that's pretty substantial. But it looks like, I'm not sure if there's a level of support there because I mean, if you look at that other thing to the left, that might be something to look out at.
You're talking about you think you're seeing support here?
Well, yeah, I mean, potentially, if it, to see
Yeah,
what
I
things.
think so. I think when you move so dramatically like this, these light like if I squint my eyes, these are support and resistance levels. I don't really think they mean a whole lot. Like I certainly wouldn't be like loading up right here
Right, right, right.
because that might like if on a short term move because I think we could see we got a total about like I don't know. What do we do? We're down 5.8% so far. We could go down to we could fill. I think we're gonna fill this gap. You see how this kind of like ripped up here?
Hmm.
I think that this little bit here
Hmm.
is where you're looking at because the market will tend to like retrace to where there was a little bit of air pockets. Like
Hmm.
I forget exactly what happened in early May to have this shoot off, but I think it's reasonable to say once we come back to this level where there air gaps exist, that'll be kind of like that also correspond to like a nice 10% correction, which is probably due. It's
Hmm.
kind of what I'm thinking on the NASDAQ there. So we're gonna see what
Right.
happens there, but today was Friday was a doozy. It was a doozy on Friday. A lot of things felt it beyond that. If we go out to like the VIX had a day.
Hmm.
Volatility decided to show its head. Wish I had been long some straddles, but I was
Hmm.
not. Dollar saw some craziness too, so that was impressive. We're really kind of, I think, just in a short reverse correction across markets to kind of like just move a little bit more at a normal pace.
Right.
The other thing that I've been hearing though is like with crypto. So I don't
Hmm.
know if you've been following crypto lately, but they've been having some tough times.
It seems like
And
it. Yeah, it seems like they've been having a little bit of a tough go.
yeah, so again, I don't trade crypto. I don't particularly, I'm not in any of that. I have some and I own it for the long term. So it's just like it can do whatever it wants in any given
Right.
month. But I have heard rumblings that this is starting to bottom out and exhaust. Like there was a lot of volume to close out this pull down here.
Right.
So that might have been the beginning of like an exhaustion move where you kind of say like, okay, this
Hmm.
is probably going to start to consolidate in this range and then maybe hopefully start to head back up. But
Yeah.
we're going to
You
see
know,
what happens there. It's
with
a
with
little bit weird.
with those, whenever you see like, major Bitcoin moves or something like that, I always think about, when, I think it was what I want to say like December of like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, like the end of the year when it first started going crazy, like when Bitcoin hit like 20,000 or so.
Well,
And
we can
then
pull it back
everybody,
and check it out here, my friend.
yeah,
Boom, month long Bitcoin chart.
yep. So, and right around, I think,
This is linear. If I move
mhm,
this to log,
mhm,
you'll kind of see what the relative impact is of the recent move.
right.
So, in some ways, on a log scale, the volatility's really come in.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of these moves are like, this will be what the first, second,
Mhm,
third, fourth, fifth, sixth, we'll call it seventh, eighth of many, many moves
yep. Yeah.
lower
So,
for a, 6 to 12, another crypto winter,
mhm,
but kind of almost doesn't matter.
right. Yeah. But like right around, I guess what is it, like 2018? Like right when that spike when it probably hit around like 20,000. And then there were athletes and stuff that wanted to get paid in Bitcoin and things like that. And some of them, they took it at like when it was like 100,000, they took their salary in Bitcoin or a portion of their
Yeah, that was
salary in Bitcoin.
popular for a little bit. I
Yeah.
agree. It's funny you say that, and we might talk a little more about that because we're going to Europe. I've suddenly cared about FX again.
Oh yeah. Oh, foreign exchanges.
So wondering just what the exchanges are. So we're gonna have to concern ourselves with the euro, which
Hmm.
is, unfortunately a tad expensive. Everything's 15% more right now. The euro, 1 euro is one spot 15 USD right now. So everything by default in Europe is 15% more expensive when we go, which kind of
Mm.
sucks. But
Yeah.
overall, it's not too bad.
Yep.
We do have to be aware of the pound though when we go to Scotland. Same thing. Relatively speaking, the pound has actually gotten cheaper. Like, it used to be a 60% markup on a
Right.
pound to go buy a pound.
Yep.
Now we're down to just a 33% markup to get a single pound off of USD. So it is what it is. But yeah, everything's a little more expensive in Europe, despite the fact that the dollar's gotten so strong. That's the irony here. We're talking about things being expensive, but oh, that's VIX. If we pull out on the dollar to a monthly, the dollar is just about at par again. So the dollar is really not that far off its longer term trend, even though everybody was complaining about the decline in the dollar back in 25. But so what it all boils down to is we're at about normal. When we go to Europe,
Yeah.
it's going to be about, you know, what it always is, a little more expensive for a vacation. Go
Right.
figure.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly.
Okay. So that was the charts. That's what's going on in the markets right now. That's what I've been thinking about. That Nasdaq move's been hefty. So it's going to feel a little bit in the backdoor window when everybody reads about or sees this month, but that'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the residual is when this comes out. What happens from now to
Right,
then.
right, right. Yeah. I mean, there's been other stuff going on as well, besides just the market moves. I mean, have you seen what the cost of compute has been doing?
No, I have not seen the cost of compute.
So do you know what I mean by the cost of compute?
Talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about like the cost of like computing something, like how much it actually costs to.
Yes, the cost of compute is the cost it takes to compute something.
Yeah, well, the cost to process, are you talking about like in AI terms or things like
Well,
that?
I'm actually talking about it in both. So this is the other thing that's kind of been creeping in. The big argument for why AI wouldn't work and like it might not generate revenue is because actually the cost to the enterprise client is going to be too much. They're going to be
Right,
blowing way too much money on their tokens to actually achieve something in AI. It's like, do I need to like that little daily briefing note that AI generates every morning costs like say 100 tokens, and it's like, is this really worth say $10 to get this every morning?
right.
So what's happened is Microsoft, as well as everybody else at the beginning of June, went to token cost metering rather than fixed costs. So if you're
Mm,
using Anthropic, Claude, if you're using Gemini, if you're using whatever, a lot of the contracts flipped over from fixed cost, like trial, to like now you have to pay your actual legitimate share. And so what all of these enterprises and all these CFOs have figured out is that, oh crap, we're using up our entire expected budget by like in
it com-
like their monthly budget they'll use up in 3 days.
right, yeah,
Or now like if they annualize it, it's like they're gonna go run through their monthly budget in like, 3 months or whatever it
right,
is.
yeah,
So they all have to figure out now what the hell they're going to do because
yeah.
they're not going to. So the big story was, allegedly it was Amazon, but allegedly Amazon blew through $500 million in token costs in a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of
And
money.
they're like, what the hell? Like, this is like Amazon is huge. Like, they can
Yeah,
just eat the cost if they screw up. But
yeah, that's a
like,
lot.
it's still like you can't just have
Yeah,
a $500 million leakage every
right.
month.
Yeah, that'll
So
that'll
that all
that'll
that
be
has to get
crazy.
shored up. So it's going to be interesting to see how they eventually dabble and change it all around to make it acceptable. I think you're going to start to hear the word tranches a lot.
Okay.
Tranches, I think, are coming in the AI world in two respects. The first is the financing of it all is getting ridiculous. They're going to be some form of AI CDO market soon enough because of all of the debt that the markets have to digest. But then the other big factor is, excuse me, is all of those token costs. Like what's going to happen with that? So we're going to see.
Yeah.
That was my other big item. All right.
Uh,
Well, we ranted about the markets enough. You ready to move into a little more education?
yeah, education. Let's hit
All
it.
right. All right. We'll let you talk this time.
Yeah, a good time to end the school year though. Talk about some education.
That is
You're
true.
yeah.
That is true. I could actually easily start there. So, do you have a do your kids do they do like end of grade testing?
No, they're still too young for that.
Oh, okay.
well, not like in the traditional sense of like testing, but like I
Hmm.
guess they'll get evaluated, I suppose, if that makes sense. Because one's in daycare. It's not exactly like learning. It's more just figuring out how to be a person. And the other one's just finishing up kindergarten. So that's they're kind of doing their year end wrap up. So they once Memorial Day hit, they kind of stopped doing a lot of their normal stuff. It's more just arts and crafts and like cleaning up the classroom and doing a lot of that stuff. So it's a lot of little things like that, class trips and things like
Right.
that. So I wouldn't say that there's any like testing. I think they kind of got all that stuff done towards the end of May, but yeah, now it's kind of just finishing out running out the ground ball.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like that for most of the grades by the last week or two. We just finished up all of pre-K graduation and
Yeah.
then third grade graduation, which wasn't really graduation. It was just last day of school.
Moving on. Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on. No, they didn't have like a ceremony. It was just last day of school.
Yeah.
But before that, she had to do her end of grade testing. So they start to
Uh,
get her in and you kind of start to see how the school itself is like positioning itself to want to be graded by those results.
so it's
You know what
so
I'm
it's really
saying?
teaching to the test.
I'm not so explicitly, but you can tell that they take it pretty serious. So the
Yeah.
principal sent out a note saying that anyone who's not in by 7:20 will start getting calls to get them
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
because attendance and the ability to do it is something that they're graded on, and like
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I
like
guess
as a
participation matters. Yeah. I didn't even think about it as a metric. Like I guess yeah.
it's like how
Because
many kids do you are enrolled, how many kids took the test, and
interesting. Yeah.
so they have to track all that because like it's like there's the episode of The Simpsons where they told all the idiots at the power plant to go sit in the basement, and it was Homer and like one other guy,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
can't do that. They were trying to
Yeah.
like boost the metrics by getting rid
Yeah.
of those
Yeah.
the edge case bad ones.
That's I never I've thought of that like in terms of the testing. Like I just figured like okay, all the kids take the test. I was just under
It's
the
like
assumption that all the kids are going to take the test. It never dawned on me that they would say, "Hey, Johnny, how about you just sit over here? How about you go have some extended recess
Johnny has
today?"
a cold. Johnny stayed home today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like
Coincidentally, Johnny is a moron and gets
yeah,
50s on every test.
yeah. There's 32 kids in the school all get to go on a class trip to the ice cream factory.
Yes.
It's
Right.
like it was scheduled. I don't know.
It's
Just
weird. Yeah, they won
yeah,
the lot. They win like a lottery.
they
It
won
was like a
they won the
rigged
raffle.
lottery or something in
They
that
they won they
episode.
won the raffle.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right. But the
yeah,
point is, you get like they can't. They have to take into
right.
account that attendance.
Yeah,
All the kids are supposed to take the
right,
test,
right.
so they do care about making sure you get your ass in the seat to do it.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
What I am learning is how parents now approach such a thing
Yeah,
in 2026. Like, how important is this to parents? Which is a different
so how
question,
important?
right?
Yeah, so
Because my question was like, well, what is the impact to my kid? Like, is
right.
this
Good point.
defining what class they're going to be in or not? Or is
It's a
this
fair point.
just
Yeah,
like, what does this do? Does she get a scholarship?
yeah.
Like, none of
That's
that is true.
right.
So it's like, just take the test and then come home, you're done. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean
right,
anything to you.
right,
Just do it, just give it the gold third
right.
grade try and go
Yeah, dude,
home.
just go home, do your bed. So I don't know if you remember taking those standardized tests when we were kids, but we were talking
Yes.
about that the other day. So we went to like private school, and then my wife went to public school. So like we're talking about the
You say we
differences.
went to a private school, you make it sound like we were at like Exeter Academy in our like
No,
we went
no,
to like
no,
Hogwarts.
no. Well, that'd
No,
be
we went
cool
to
if
a
we were Hogwarts.
parochial
That'd be
school.
yeah, parochial school. But the standards were
Catholic
different.
little Catholic schoolboys.
So the standards were different. So we were talking about like the standardized testing that we took, and I said, oh man, I used to love standardized testing days because I thought those days were so easy because you didn't have any homework, you didn't have to worry about anything. The results ultimately didn't matter. Like you just did your best and you just got to see how good you did. And it was like, all right, cool. And then other people would like be stressing out. I'm like, why? It doesn't affect your actual grade. It just see how good
Well,
you
the
can do.
question that's an interesting question. And you're thinking about it from the child's perspective.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing. And so you're bringing up
But
a very
we
good
are
point
now
about
in
like
2026, we are now parents of
correct.
children who are doing those things. So the
Yes.
amount of pressure you place on it is
Mm,
probably going to come out through the child
mhm.
that day, which is something now I'm just like, it's one of those, oh, I'm on the other side of it now type of
Right,
deals.
right, right, right. Yeah.
Because we knew some families in our circles who made sure that their kids were, extra attentive and ready to
Hmm.
go and
Yep.
understanding that this is a different thing and they need to
Yep.
do well and whatever
Yep.
else. And that was the way they
Right.
approached it. And it's like, okay,
Right.
fine, do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. I
Um,
guess I guess like I guess that I don't know I don't know how I feel about that. That's a I'm you're bringing up all these things. Obviously, I'm not at that level yet, but like
it
at
is
third
it,
grade.
it is a very clear case of something that like when you're 24 and single, you can have all these like theoretical ideas
Yeah.
about like
Right.
education in America.
Yeah.
But then when your
To
feet are put to the fire and it's like your kid has to go in and take this,
right. Way different.
how much of that is actually like
Oh yeah.
going
Tangible
through
or
your head? How much do you
right.
care? How much do you not care? Like, what does it
Right.
mean to you? It's a
Yeah.
real like feet to the fire moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess like from a third grade perspective, really can't. I mean, obviously the school cares quite a bit, but from a parenting perspective, it's like, all right, just go in there and do your best. But then I can see as like things start to get higher and higher. Like I remember like taking an entrance exam for high schools. Seeing doing that like that start. That's when things I think really start to matter. Is when you're starting to get towards the end of like your middle school years, and then start to going into high school. And then obviously when you're taking like your SATs or your ACTs in high school going into college, those obviously matter. So I guess the preparation leading up to those things as you're when you're a child, like if your mentality at third grade is like, okay, these are important. Do your best. Like depending on how you approach it at third grade and all that stuff carries through, that may carry through into those high school tests where that actually start to matter. And that so if it's one of those things where you're like, third grade, like, it doesn't really matter. Then do they carry that through to later on? I don't know.
I mean, I appreciate the idea of a minimum threshold, for
Right,
example,
right.
but the relative. I mean, like, I can't remember a single standardized test I took.
I I I remember I remember I remember taking one. I believe it was third grade, and they had a memory section, and they give you like 30 pairs of pictures to remember. And they had like, so in my brain, so they gave you like 5 minutes and they would say them each out loud, like each pair. And, so in my mind, I was creating an association for each one of those pairs. And for whatever reason, there was a clown and a shovel. So in my brain, it's a clown digging its own grave with a shovel. Like that's what I remember. I don't know why, but like those were the two images. That was like one of the pairings. And I remember that pairing. It was on the lower left side of the page. I remember it very vividly for some reason.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
cool.
yeah.
I was gonna say that I think I took the SATs twice. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I took the STs twice, took the ACTs. Yeah. Well, so you had a different experience with the SATs than I did because I don't think you had the writing section.
That's a great question. That is a great question because I think the idea of standardized testings I think is just interesting. I
Yeah.
think it's just a
Right.
fascinating thing. So when I took the SATs on a 1600 scale,
Mhm.
and it was like your classic verbal math.
Right.
They were talking about adding it, and so then you could also take what were called SAT twos,
Hmm.
which were subject matter
Yep.
aptitude test.
Right.
So they gave a recommendation so this was 2004.
Four. Yeah.
This is like an eon ago. But at that time, the way they would do it is took your SATs and then you could take others like a weekend or two later. You could like
Right.
sign. I'm
Yep.
gonna do this one. This they're offering it at this dates and this time, whatever else. Some were easier than others. So I think I took like history because I was
Yeah.
just off a history class,
Right.
and I took the SAT 2 for writing
Mm.
because they're like, oh, because then you effectively have the writing score
Right.
of what they might just be making mandatory 2 years from now.
Right.
So that was the thought process. So I did do it, and I think I did like about the same as I did in math and verbal. I was pretty even across the board.
I was not.
Oh yeah, that was my. I was very like I kind of do like pretty good across all of them. That's kind of how I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was yeah. So I think the year in between us, that was the first year that they made everybody take it, and they still weren't really sure how they were going to count the scores for that. The uh
So
the
I do it
first
at
year
night though.
when I took it, I think that was the first year that it was like they were actually going to like really count the scores because I think like the year before me they were like, oh, everybody's going to take it, but then we're going to figure out how we're going to deal with it, because they're not really sure what they were doing. So this is like the first year that like they they had it and everybody took it and everybody was doing what they had to do and they do the writing section first thing, like that's the first section they do. And so still a little, when you're there early, you're kind of out of your sorts and you're still a little groggy, and what they let you see is they let you see your essay after the fact, like they have it scanned in, and when you check your scores you can kind of take a look at it and kind of see, and they might have some notes in the margins about like what they were scoring, whatever. So I went back and read my first one, and it was bad. It was really bad, and I was very tired because I was, for whatever reason, and I ended up writing the same sentence like two or three times because I just lost my spot. So I was like, "Ooh, that's not
Wait,
good."
is this kid drunk? Is he
Uh,
dyslexic? Is he
because like what happens? I'd write the sentence and then I'd
is
pause.
does he have a written stutter? Is that
Yeah,
a
yeah,
thing?
yeah, basically, yeah. So I was writing and I must have stopped to like think, and then in my brain I got started again, and then to continue the thought, I wrote the sentence again. You
Ah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I just didn't go back and read what I like where I left off. Like, and that, could you have, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something to write an essay? It was one of those things. And like, you got to get going and real quick, and your brain's moving. It's got to go down through your arm into the pen. And man, it didn't turn out good. Luckily, they didn't really throw those in there. So,
You
but yeah,
describe writing like someone might describe a kidney stone.
yeah, because
The
you're
process of
all the
writing
way
to you
down.
is like passing a
It's
kidney
terrible.
stone.
Oh, it's really bad. Well, I mean, yeah, the physical act. Well, that's the other thing too that they really harped on was for handwriting. That was another whole thing. That
Back
was
in those days, you're gonna be yeah, long form. You get the little blue books. Remember the little
yeah,
blue
yeah.
books?
Well,
Yeah.
that was the thing.
Those are
They
more
said
collegiate, not so much like high school.
they were harping on you, saying basically if your handwriting sucks and they can't read it, you're just gonna get a bad score. I'm like, yeah, that's
To
fair.
their
I get that.
credit, I mean, they're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they
It's
are
fair.
right. But here's the
Yeah,
thing. Don't make me write
right,
750 words in 15 minutes with a graphite pencil
right,
on a half desk.
right. Yeah. Well,
It's like,
it is what it is.
like, what do you
So,
want me to do? It's gonna
well,
smudge.
that was the thing. Yeah. Well, so then like
My hand
and
cramps.
yeah, well, and that you basically have to print. So it's like and you're kind of just you're
But
printing
printing is
rather right,
slower, so
right,
you're
exactly.
sacrificing
So
clar. It's like
right,
you want to be able to write more
yeah, yes,
faster. You have to
right,
use cursive, but it might smudge. Otherwise, you could print, and then you could yeah. It's that was
yeah.
that's test taking strategies, I
That's
guess.
yeah, it's all,
Like
all things that I don't have to deal with right now. But it'll be interesting to see what the genesis of it for the next generation, like our kids, like what their testing is it's gonna be completely different. So even
so the
for
brain. So the arc of it is they tried to take the SATs away from a lot of colleges, and then
uh,
they figured out that by not making them take the SATs, that everybody showed up in a lot more people weren't proficient in the math and literature scores they needed to handle collegiate work. So
mm,
they were stuck teaching all this like middle school, high school math. Like they were doing
mm,
slope of a
yep,
line in
right,
calculus one because kids
yeah,
couldn't remember.
yeah, that's sad, but yeah, so
So that did happen. So they are trying to reinstitute the SATs now in a
yeah,
lot of different places.
to be honest, didn't know they went away.
Oh,
It was one of
well,
them.
there you go. Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, we learned something today. Learned about the SATs a little bit, and learned about talked about good standardized testing stuff.
Well, the last thing I was thinking is about the Jonathan Heidel, who was a New York Times bestseller for his books on. So he's the guy who's basically behind "Don't Give Social Media to
To
Kids
kids.
Under the Age of 16."
Yeah, I think I've seen him pop up on social media.
Yeah, right. Well,
But
you
but you know what? To be
graduated, so
honest,
you're allowed.
what I have heard, I think makes a lot of sense personally.
Fair,
Uh, you know, I
absolutely.
I think the developing brain is something to not mess with. That's tough.
Um, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The other piece though that's coming out, which is sort of like that idea 2.0, um, I should have looked up his name. I didn't have it handy, but there's a fella who is a similar to him, similar to Heidel in that he's a professor and studies this stuff. Didn't look at social media specifically. He looked at like technology in general. And to
Yeah.
bring it on home and full circle, he more or less made the argument that by using tablets and YouTube and multiple choice on screen instead of having to write with like loose leaf paper your and show your work on math and doing those blue book written stuff that like it's worse. Like people do not retain
Correct. Yeah.
the without doing the brain to hand
Yeah.
work,
Yeah. Well, that
people are not retaining things
right.
or building a robust base with elementary education nearly as well. So he's basically saying we need to revert because for years and years it was like put technology in the classroom, it'll solve everything. Put technology in the classroom, it'll solve everything. Now they're basically saying it's like that was the exact opposite. Like you should get it all out. Get it all
Well,
out. It's
right.
hurting
Right.
things
Right.
because
Well,
nobody's remembering anything. And
well.
I'm sure like in a world of AI, now this guy's going to be really popular when he says, "You know what we should do? Pencil and paper.
Yeah. Right.
Pencil and
Yeah. Just
paper.
yeah. Yeah,
Six,
but I mean,
seven. Pencil, paper."
they've been saying that. I remember when we were kids, like the when you're learning something, physically writing it helps imprint it in your brain much more. I mean, so they've been talking about that for quite some time, and I think part of that is that it takes longer for you to physically do it, so you're focusing on it longer than it is than just typing something or and so um, it,
What it does is it diminishes your critical thought capacity.
mm,
It's it is the so one of the things that we like, and I've done this. We've done like the National Spelling Bee.
mhm,
Let me ask you a question.
yes.
In a world of autocorrect, AI writing stuff, what value is there in learning how to spell anything greater than a four-letter word?
Well, I I mean, I fancy myself to be a pretty good speller. Um, I think that it's just general knowledge, and I think that having a base of general knowledge is important. Um, but like I said, but if somebody needs to know how to spell the word, let's say, I don't know, like curriculum, let's, you know, um, okay, if they spell it close enough and autocorrect will correct them, okay, where's the harm in that? Okay, fine, but I don't know, you should still know how to spell the word curriculum, in my
Well,
opinion. Something.
that's the debate of it is does it matter? Is that a piece of knowledge that your average person, your median person needs to know? Because somebody
Um,
in 18 like
I guess the question
in Back
need
to the
is
Future 3,
mhm,
which is obviously where this conversation was
obviously.
going.
Yeah.
Marty McFly goes back to the Old West,
Yep.
and when
1885, I believe.
he meets
Great
his
great grandfathers.
ancestor,
Yeah.
his Irish ancestor, God, I'm Marty McFly. I'm going back to the old country. No, but
Ah,
when he meets his the guy, Seamus, the first thing Seamus does is like, what the hell is this? Like, you don't have your boots, you don't
yeah.
have your hat,
Right.
you don't know how to handle your horse. Like,
Right.
you do not have the basic skills to live in this world.
Right.
Why
Correct.
not? And it's because those things moderate it off.
Right.
Like, you don't need to just be like an average Joe doesn't need to just have those things. Like, he doesn't need to know how to like spark a fire and
Right.
camp for
Right.
the night because he's riding his horse 50 miles to the next town and he can't do it in a day. He has to do it in 3 days. You know what I
Right.
mean? But there
Yeah.
was a time when those people would just live like that. That's just what they did. It was just life, you know? It was no different than programming your TiVo or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The necessary skills of the day, I guess, is the
Mhm.
question, right? Like, what are
So
the necessary skills of the day, and what is important and what isn't important? Like,
yeah, and
you don't
there's
need to
real
know how
debates
to.
about where that should go.
Yeah, and the word need is important there. I think the question is, and also that could vary geographically, very very much so, and what your circumstances are, like what's important and what isn't important. Another interesting little like thing is cursive writing, right? So my oldest daughter wanted to learn how to write her name in cursive, so we taught
Hmm.
her. And so she can, so because she had to sign a piece of, she had to put her name on a piece of paper, and she had to write her name. So we're like, oh, you want to learn how to see what your name is? She goes, yeah, sir. So she looked at it and she did it, and then she likes to write her name in cursive now. So like, she knows how to write her name in cursive, which is something that I would bet that a lot of her peers do not know how to do or will not know how to do. So, that's an interesting thing, like whether or not that is going to come back or not, and how people are going to be signing documents.
With like DocuSign, you don't need her signature.
True. Yeah, but like if you have to do something in person, like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't
So it's
know.
like to polish this off because I want to move on. Like
Yep.
imagine instead of having to handwrite a signature,
Yep.
which is something that people pride themselves on, like your signature, it's a unique way that you do it, and you can kind of really tell if somebody
Mm.
forges it. That
Yep.
was sort of the idea behind a signature.
Yep.
Imagine if everybody just started keeping like cryptic encryption keys. Like everybody just had like and everybody just had to like.
Talking
That's
like a
really what it
biomet
is. It's
a
become
biometric
password.
a biometric RFID scanner.
Something like that. Yeah,
It's in
that
your
might
finger.
just
You
be what it
just
is.
boop.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. All right,
Yeah.
move on to the dad life.
Yep.
So it's June. June means Father's Day.
Indeed.
You got any Father's Day plans coming up?
So, nothing like set in stone planning wise. There's one thing that I try to do every year that I started when, so my, you know, right at the height of COVID, right in that June month was, nothing going on. And, I wanted to get a picture like in the backyard every year on Father's Day, like doing something like, and typically like around the grill, like a very like stereotypical like let's with the kid. So
Like
every
with a
year I try to get a
hat?
picture, yeah, or like put the apron on and we're grilling or something, like just something fun to do. So
Yeah.
so that's like the only I guess Father's Day tradition is that I try to keep is that I try to get a picture by the grill with my kids, and that's just every year you just get to see the progression of it and just see
That's a good one.
what.
That's a good,
Yeah,
good long-term thinking. I like that.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
and the first one was really bad because she was a newborn and like I was literally just holding her and she was kind of sprawled out like this and I just had the grill open. It kind of looked like I was grilling the baby. I was like, oh, that's not good. But no one was in the right
Oh
headspace
my
at that
God, does
point.
he
So
cook babies?
yeah, delicious.
That's interesting. Yeah, we're not really doing it a whole lot because we're going to be away. So the vacation itself takes priority.
Well, yeah,
So
and then but I mean, and I this is something I don't know. Is Father's Day an international thing or just an American thing?
I actually looked that up. It's not global by any means. I mean, you go to Afghanistan, they have bigger problems. But in Ireland and Scotland, they do celebrate Father's Day on the same day.
Okay, on the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
there it is. Okay,
on paper,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if there's if you went to like the corner drugstore in Dublin, I don't know if there's a whole row of Hallmark cards for
right.
dads.
Father's Day
I don't
card.
know
Yeah.
how much of it because I mean like St. Swithin's Day is must a big
Mhm.
place somewhere, but it's
Yeah.
not here. So maybe
Yeah.
they just like it's more like I don't know if it's like a quirky trivia or if it's something they take seriously there. It'd be
Yeah,
interesting to find out.
yeah. I mean, it'll be a different experience to say the least. So
Yeah, yeah.
that'll be good.
So we're just gonna. I mean, I might get like a little hi, how are you? Like here, let me buy you a drink. But we're not gonna do anything crazy because we have
Yeah,
a
well, 'cause you're there to
we're
yeah,
sightseeing. We got the
right.
family. We're doing
Yeah,
everything, and it's like
yeah.
okay, fine, I get it.
Well, that's a good Father's
I don't
Day
need a
experience in and of
tie.
itself. Yeah, that's a good Father's Day experience of itself. It's unique. You'll remember it. Going on. It's like, oh yeah, that Father's Day we went to Ireland, and that was whatever you're doing that particular day or week, and that'll be good. Are you traveling on that Father's Day, or are you like in somewhere?
I don't know. That's not my department. I literally just block out the 10 days, and then
Hmm.
somebody just tells me what to do. I'm like,
You got
cool,
it.
got it.
All right, nice. There you go.
Because we're going
Yeah,
to
I
a
mean,
big crew. We're going like a big extended family crew. I saw my
ah,
wife's side, so
I gotcha. Okay,
I
so
didn't
you're
want
so
you to
it's
feel
not
bad. Yeah,
gotcha. So it's not like you're just your immediate family. There's a whole gaggle of people going.
yeah. We're going with my parents, my brothers. We just didn't tell you.
That's fine. I understand. I get it. I understand.
Right. No, we're going to my wife's
No,
side and her whole family, so that's
that'll
going to
be
be fun.
yeah, that'll be good
Uh,
though. That's a good extended kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. It really breaks up the summer though because we have to figure out how to do all the summer camps for the kids now that school's
Right.
out, which is
Right.
becoming the bane of my existence
Yeah.
because you gotta like make it happen. It doesn't just
Right.
happen on its own.
Yep.
We have a just a contingent of different camps spread out, but the problem again is because we have like chunks where like we're going on vacation, so we have to kind of work around that. Some of the camps
Right.
are like, well, like, you can't come to half the camp. I
Right.
mean, you
Yeah,
could,
it's
but you
tough.
have to eat it. You have to pay it and
Right.
eat it.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it's about figuring out how to get it all like, that
Yeah,
game of
balance. Yeah.
Tetris of making it all work.
Yeah, it's
The
challenging.
big change though is I've decided is I've hired my daughter as the summer intern.
How
She
about
is
it?
going to be helping with stuff on the weeks she's available, like in this ecosystem. She has like
Cool.
jobs. Like I need her. She's going to make me stuff for
Cool.
this. So, and
Nice.
oh, I'm gonna get her. I am going to pay her. I promised I would pay her a whole $2 an hour.
Mm,
And I will have her do real things, and I will actually pay her the money.
yeah.
But I am also going to force her to put some of it into the bank of dad
Hmm.
so she can grow her deposit base and her savings. And I am
Hmm.
also going to tax her,
Mm.
which is going to be fun. That'll be a
That's gonna
fun
be interesting.
conversation I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Um, but I think she'll actually take to it.
Yeah.
I
Good.
think it's something that'll be good. She's going to like sit. I'm going to give her a task, like I'm her manager, and be like, okay, this
Yeah.
is what we need. I have certain
Yep.
expectations, and really
Yeah.
start to
Good.
get her into that flow of things.
Yeah. Good.
And it's going to be like, I expect you to do it, otherwise, forget it. Go. You're not getting paid. Forget it, and see how she
Hmm.
does it. She might just
Yeah.
say, "F it, I want to go play with my friends," and that's
Mm.
fine too. But
Yeah.
um. I do think she is going to try to like take it on. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out. By the time this
Yeah.
drops, we will have seen what a week of that looks like,
How about it?
and check to see if like the cops are called or something because it
Mm.
goes awry.
Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think it will. I think she's up to it. She can kind of, and it's about setting expectations and calibrating it to things she's capable of doing. Like I'm not going to
Right.
tell her, okay, I need you to drive me an AI agent on
Yeah.
this by
I need you to
Tuesday.
edit this. I need you to edit this down to
Right, right. Yeah, here's a
for
1,200
content and for
word
clarity.
draft. Get this down to
Yeah.
500 words.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
No, no, but she's going to do things much, much more simple. She's very fascinated in video design, so I'm going to try to get her to like maybe like
Cool.
write some scripts of a little video. And you might see some we might do like an intern day, and maybe we'll just drop some videos that she's actually made for the summer as projects, and she'll get to
Cool.
learn how all that stuff works. So that should be
Yeah, that's
good.
cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. That's a great thing you have an opportunity to do.
We'll see. It's all on
Yeah.
her. I'm open to trying it, but if she's going to be like mean
Yeah. Good.
about it and doesn't want to participate, I'm not going to force her to either.
Yeah.
Just as long
But
as she's doing something that works for me.
yeah, either way, I mean, it's an experience either way. An experience
That
for
is
her, experience for you, and we'll figure out what good or bad, indifferent. It's going to be something that is at least unique to this summer.
right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, which is it's good. It's important.
So we're gonna see where it goes. Again, we're on. What's the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, have you been following the Knicks,
Yes, I have been following the Knicks. Yes, yes, I have.
the Knickerbockers?
Yes, the New York Knickerbockers. Yes, yes,
I
I've been
got.
following them.
Everyone knows that we're from New Jersey.
Mhm.
So a couple of dads in the neighborhood asked me to go watch the Knicks game with them in somebody's basement. Guys I
Oh,
knew but have never done that sort of activity with before.
yeah, yeah,
And I graciously declined. I was like, "Oh, thank you, that's so nice." But I was like, I am going to be like the idiot in
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah,
I don't
I was
know
gonna ask, like,
anything about it.
have you been following the Knicks? That seems something that's not really on your radar.
That's exactly right. No, I mean, I saw the headline that they, are in the finals, but I am not a Knicks fan. I don't follow. Not to say I'm a Spurs fan. I just don't follow it at all. It's like it would
Also,
blow right past me if it weren't
I'm
on like.
impressed that you knew they were playing the Spurs in the finals.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
I'm impressed by that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
It's more than I was expecting. But yeah, no,
fair.
but also to be fair, I'm also much more geographically close to that. So and
That's true.
also so like there are people who are Knicks fans and whatnot, and and it's been I don't know, it's 30 something years. Well, I guess they're 27 years. I think they're in the '99 finals maybe.
But they
But
lost it. They haven't won since like 72.
no. No, yeah, yeah, but the fact that they're back in the finals is a big deal for the city of New York. Like that's a huge deal for them.
I no, I get it. Don't get me wrong.
And at the
I'm
time,
happy I'm not there because I don't want.
yeah,
If they win, there's going to be riots. If they lose, there's going to be riots.
no, no, it's gonna be nah. It's much more subdued. But it's exciting though. But people are happy, and also at the time of this recording, they're up 2-0 in the finals. So
That is true.
um,
They do. They
yeah,
are.
so
They got a good bounce
yeah,
on them.
yeah. So it's notable thing. It's good when there's some new teams or teams that are historic that haven't been good for a while to kind of get their juices going because it gets those fan bases kind of re-energized and it makes it a little more fun. So,
Yeah,
but
no, I get it. I understand completely. So I don't know. I when it might be over by the time this drops. So
yeah, should
hmm.
be.
What
Yeah.
what I think we're gonna close up the dad section with, and it's kind of why I saw it is like now I don't know if you follow Elmo
Mm,
on the social media.
I do not follow the Elmo on the social media.
Well,
No.
we got like one or two Elmo fans in the house, so we kind of find out we get our Elmo quota in. But apparently Elmo got ripped apart on social media because he the official Elmo
Twitter or
handle, I guess
yeah.
it was close to say it was Instagram. He's probably on like a bunch of platforms, but he said, "Is Elmo just wishes that every team has fun." To which New Yorkers just tore him apart
Mm.
because Sesame Street is supposed to take place up near
In
Harlem. Like it
yeah,
is
yeah,
supposed
like
to
that.
be
Yeah,
in New York
in New
City.
York City. Yep. Yeah.
So the fact, so like they were calling Elmo a traitor because he
Mm.
was not rooting for the Knicks
That's ridiculous.
exclusively.
Yeah. So no, that's
And I don't know if I don't know what to think of that.
I don't know either. I don't know. I think I don't know. That is weird. That's stirring up a lot of weird. I think it's ridiculous that sports fans like are going after a puppet. Like that's ridiculous. Like come on,
I mean, it's
just
funny.
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, exactly.
Like if I were a big
Like
Knicks fan, I might say it. Like you
but
know,
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. And the problem with that is there are people that do it as a joke, and there are people that see that joke and think it's serious, and then they pile on because they are also serious, and it's those serious people that are the problem.
I
Like,
mean,
haha,
what are they?
yes, it's
What
a
are
funny
they
joke.
actually?
It's a
Uh,
funny joke, but
yeah,
yeah, and that's all it should be. It's just like, aha, okay, yeah, clever, okay, fun, but yeah, I don't know. But that's the big Elmo news.
poor Elmo.
Yeah,
Poor Elmo.
Elmo sad. It's okay.
Well, all right.
The other big thing
Let's
is
get
the
ready to call it for the month. We're getting a little bit late.
yep,
Hopefully no more interactions or rather distractions. But a last thing I want to point out, we're coming to the end of the quarter. End of the quarter means a new donation from the store. I accrue the sales, 50 cents a piece to each of the charities under Trader Dad's. So we will be coming up with a couple bucks over to the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund. As a reminder, that was the one that was done after the World Trade Center attacks on September 11th, and Cantor was the firm which had quite a lot of casualties there. So they help with supporting various acts of terrorism, natural disasters, other emergencies. They support for that. The other half, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So every hat sale, 50 cents goes to St. Jude's Research Hospital. So I have to do the full tally at the end of the month to see what it is. It'll probably be, I don't know, a couple bucks, you know, just a couple bucks here and there, no problem. So if you are interested, you buy a hat and you donate to two good causes. So that's wonderful.
it's very good.
And now, beyond that, all I can say is just remember we are on Substack Weekly on Tuesdays. We have the Instagram. I have now mirrored the Instagram to Facebook. So if you're more of a Facebook person, you can follow on Facebook instead because I just put it up on the same thing. So we got Facebook going now, and then of course the store. And we're gonna see what else happens. There might be some more guest appearances in the work later this summer. We're gonna see what happens.
Yep,
So,
sounds good.
Thomas, thank you for being here as usual.
Yep.
And do you have anything else you want to leave us with?
No, just looking forward to the World Cup this month, and hopefully everything goes pretty well. Go USA.
All right. And I'll be leaving the country. All
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Thanks, everyone.